Hi guys, thanks for stopping by and watching again. This is next part of my diorama. I think we're up to part 4 now. I've cut my pegs. Here for my sign. I haven't fitted them yet, they're just loosely in place. So my sign's going to be a wireless sign for that to slide down like so. And then we got some more brass for the other side. I think this is the same, yeah. That one, oh no, it's bigger. Looks like it might be a trip up to the model shop later to get see if we can get some more brass box. I've run out of it. I thought I had a bit more than that. Anyway, so for today's video I can start making my framework for that. So how I'm going to do this is, because it's going to be wireless and these sides are going to be positive, negative, I need to make an insulated sign. So what I'm going to do is cut that to my length. Put my escort, my Stobart escort in. Decide from my bottom piece, and then how big I want my sign to be. And then I can put a top piece across. So I will definitely need some more brass box section for that. So what I'll do is I'll just pause it, see if I can find some more brass. In fact, I don't need to go to the shop, I've got some brass here. So my brass tube, this brass box section I'm using is 5.55mm by 0.353mm. So that's the outside's 5.5mm. The wall of the brass is 0.53 of a mil. Then the length of it is 305mm, so just over a foot long. So I've got plenty of brass. I've got plenty of brass to do that sign. That's a foot ruler, 12-inch ruler. See it there? That's big enough, that's long enough. Right, so I can crack on with this now then. That's made me a bit happier. Right, so I'll put my wires in for my bits of brass tube. If you notice, one's longer than the other. So when you've got your sign on, you put it on the long side first, then you can line it up and slide it down to go onto the short side. So you're not like fighting it and trying to get it to go. So I need to stick my wire on, solder it on even, just clean them burrs out to inside. And I've got clean burrs out to that inside. Right. So if I grip that, go to my scrap bin. I've got a nice long bit of black wire for my negative. I've got a bit of thin red. Hang on. I'll use that red and that black. So I can solder them onto me ends. So same again as I've been showing you in all my other videos. Solder on end of your iron, tin your wire with solder, flux your wire, run it through your solder, job done. Then gonna need to flux inside your tube. Put your solder iron in there, tin your inside your tube, put your wire in, get that. You see when it's gone hard, because it changes colour, it goes to a matte colour, your solder, it goes back to that colour when it's gone cold. So that's one tube with a bit of wire on bottom. So I'll shove that in. I'll shove longest side next to me wall side for easiest, and I can just shove that into there. So I'll do the negative. Same again with that. Clean burrs off. Clean inside of your tube as best you can. You strip back your wire, twist your cores together, flux your wire, drag it through. Yeah, I'm solder on there. Flux your wire, drag it through. Bob's your uncle. So same again. Run some flux into your tube. Apply your heat off your iron into your tube. Get your tube hot. Drop your iron that you've fluxed. While the solder's still liquid inside your tube, drop your wire into it. The solder that's already on your wire will melt, and join connected together and give it a little tug. That's fixed. You can see that's fixed. So now I can glue both of these. Glue both of these into position. In fact, I can't. What I need to do is I need to join these two wires together here. So pick a point for me red. So I'll pick a point down here near owl. Just draw that through. Snip that off. Snip excess off there. Drop that back in my wastage. Because you never know when you save everything. You never know when you might need a little bit of wire. And it'll get you out it stuck. Right, I can't really fit those in there, so I can. Just bear that back. So I can twist these together. Twist them strands together. So now that's together there, I can get my soldering stick. Just resting this edge on baseboard so I don't break my light. Flux my wire. Solder my iron. So that's one connected. Pull that back through and shove me, push my brass tube up a bit. My brass tube is in there, in fact I'll keep that low down there. Right, so with my black one, I'll need to strip that a bit further in and cut that off there. In fact, I'm gonna for this one, I'm gonna strip this. I'm gonna join this one here. If you're really careful with your snips, you can just cut the sheathing, and with it being silicone, it lets go quite easy, so you don't have to give it a massive rip. You don't have to give it a massive pull to strip it. So I'll just strip them. So that negative's now joined underneath. I'm doing it there like that, underneath here. So when I do me connections for me little switch I'm going to use, I've only got to connect 2 wires. I've only got to connect 1 wire to each pin. I ain't got to connect 2 wires to each pin. So flux your wire. Solder your iron. as that hisses, it's cleaned your metal, it's cleaned your wiring. So then, now it's cleaned your wiring, you've got a clean joint, so then your solder runs. So I've joined my red peg this side of here and my negative to here, so that there's no way at all that the electricity is going to be able to flow through any of this glue. None of them's going to touch. They're all going to be safe from each other. So now I can fill that. In fact, I should have done this the first time round. What I'm going to do is I'm going to test. I'm going to test that, make sure that's all working properly before I put glue in and make it permanent. I've got confidence in my work. I know what I'm doing. I'm just showing you the right way, so I'm not risking anything. Let's connect them wires up for now by twisting them. Right, so they're connected. We'll go as battery. I'll get my test meter and you can check your voltage. You check your voltage at the battery. You check your voltage at your battery so that you know that when you check it, when you check your voltage here at your 2 points, it's going to be the same voltage or near as, damn it. If you haven't got any voltage, you know you've done something wrong. If you've got a lot less voltage, you know there's high resistance in the system, so you'll need to redo that. So we test meter there. Put my prongs on. That battery's at 9.55 volts. So I'll connect my battery up. My lights go in 10 to a dozen. So I know they're alright. So I can check my voltage at this connector. Right, so already we've dropped 0.2 of a volt already at that connector. They're not soldered, so that can be the reason why. So now check my voltage at my tubes. This long side were positive, that side were negative, 9.3735. So there's no voltage drop from that joint to these tubes. And then to prove what I was saying yesterday, I can hold that onto that negative and hold that onto my base, my positive and my thing. That's dropped massive voltage with a resistance to it. Which, that resistor's there, resistor's in circuit. So that resistor's dropping my power from 9 volts down to 4. Well, it's going a bit. So that's that. And I can check it here at these two. It's 9.35 again, because I haven't reduced my voltage. I haven't reduced my voltage at this point. My voltage reduced at this point because of that resistor's in there. So when I build my sign up, you'll see what I do you'll see where I fit my resistor to for the voltage. In fact, I don't know what, I'm not sure what colour this is. This LED is here. If I bridge this gap across here, that's an amber. That's an amber LED there. I'll put that back in my box, in my bag. So what I did there was, I just earthed it. I just connected it to the back of my light, and then it showed it's already, because the back of these connectors, these connections are the right voltage. That all works appropriately. Right, so I can get on with that now. I can glue them in. Now I know that my 9-volt batteries, I've got my 9 volts at these 2 points. I can glue them wires down, glue them tubes in. In fact, I'll not do that. I'll make my sign first, get my sign in place, and then glue them in, so that my sign's going to be, that's going to be in the right place. So if I glue them now and they're a bit wobbly, I could glue them into the wrong place, so then it won't work, so then my thing won't work. So I'll make my signage up and go from there. So on this video, all I'm going to do is just show you my sign, just show you how I wire that up. I'm not gonna show you what I'm gonna put on the sign, because this is for a customer. It's a custom build. It's not for myself. The customer wants it to be a surprise, so I'm not gonna show you signage. Right. So I need to decide my height of my cross beam there. Right, I think if I cut this side to about there, right, I'll just cut this off. Right, I've cut my tube down, so I'll dress this end up, clean it all up. Right. Little box of files. So you want a square box file when you're doing square box tube, then a round file when you're doing a round tube, and so on and so on. That fits on there. I'm going to put this, I'm going to solder this across there like that. So that'll be one side. and then so I'll solder that. In fact, I'll mark that off. I'll make it a bit higher up for your different vehicles to run around. So what we do now is move that to one side. So on your bench, on your work table, you need a good trusty square. The line I've just made, you mark that to the top of your thingamabob. Mark that off there and there. Right, I'm going to cut that out. Get me my little hand grinder. So I'm going to cut down these sides and make a little flap there. And put it in my little vise. Right, I'm gonna obviously when using any sort of power tool, use the appropriate equipment, health and safety equipment and all the rest of it. I'm not going to do, well, because I'm not, don't mean say you don't have to. You do what you need to do. Like I said before, take your own responsibility of your own actions. Don't come crying to me if you don't do it and you get something in your eye. So now I've sliced that, I can bend that little tab I've left, bend that to 90 degrees, and then a bit of tube here will slide over that there. So I just want to file that up. with a flat file. And then with my box file edges. And then file that edge. So I can place that over the top of there, like so, using my square. So now I can solder that to that. So if we slide that into there, slide that piece of wood through. I can tin my flux, my joints. I might need to put that really big iron on there, that 70 watt on it. I'll try it with this 40 though. Get some soldering there. There we go. So just bend that a little bit that way. Too much. So now I can fill them gaps in with a bit more solder. Flux my joint. That's what that's what I'm truly on there. it. Because I was rushing, I buggered it up. So things do go wrong. Nobody's perfect. That's cocked that job up. All I'm doing is just trying to add a bit of strength into it. Want to grab my pliers to fetch it round, and it's gone and busted it. Caught it with my arm and bust it. I need a little tip for my soldering iron as well, which is making it a bit harder to solder and do all the stuff I need to do. That just moved then. Do you see it? You see it move? Right, so that's not gone overly brilliantly correct. See me all through it. You can't fill holes with soft solder. Don't work out. So you have to go to plan B. The other good thing about a test meter is you can do a continuity test, what I call a continuity test. So when you've got a circuit makes a buzzing noise. So if I put my one lead on the end of there, so we've got that signifies we've got continuity through that joint. So I think I can leave that like that, so that should be okay. It is quite sturdy actually, that. So I need to do the same. I need to do a better job on that other side there. So that's my sign. That's going to be my sign on. That's going to be my base of my sign. No lower than that. So now I just need to make another brass bit to go from there to there. So if I measure that gap, from there to there with my ruler, so bottom piece I'll make about 28mm there. So if I cut a piece of this off at 28mm with at a 45-degree angle, so that's going to be my base angle, so I'm going to be going that way. So I've got an angle cutter here. I'll just move my solder iron out of the way. Get the new saw out. I ain't got all day to be messing about with that. I'll save that blade for cutting wood and stuff, but for this brass it's a bit rubbish. It's a bit soft, should I say. It's not a bit blunt, I mean. There we go, that's cut straight through that. with a bit of friggin' with a sharper blade. So now I need to put that at the same height as that piece, there and there. So I'll line these up on my bench. And just file that solder flat. Right, so that is now flat with that. Get these square on my bench, line my box sections up, mark that as the middle. That's my leg, one leg. Put that back on there. So mark my top and bottom of this piece of brass box. I'm not going to cock it up like I did with the last one, because we learn from his mistakes. Get my little grinder. Obviously same goes, same applies. Use the appropriate PPE. Only because I am, don't mean to say you don't have to. Only because I'm not, don't mean to say you don't have to. Get my new saw. So much better with a new saw. With a new blade. Alright, so with this side, I've cut a smaller square in it. so that my wood should be a better fit. So I need to cut a piece of this for the length of this. Alright, so now that slides in there, a piece of this, I'll just dress that up. Alright, so another basic electronics lesson is we all know that wood doesn't conduct electricity. Metal conducts electricity, but wood doesn't. So that now is going to be this frame there. I mean, wood conducts lightning and sets trees on fire and stuff like that. But that's only because of its such high voltage. Voltage that humans work at don't really matter. Right, so with that and that in there, go and push that into that gap. So that is the bottom half of a sign. So what I need to do is solder that up in that position, like that. Make sure that they don't touch. So that the wood the wood won't transfer through that gap. So if I put my level on there, my square on there, I can draw that back a bit to that square. So that's it there, look. So now I can flux my metal, move my car out of the way. Perhaps I might try this actually with this. If I no, that's not going to play. That's too big a gap for that piece. But it might not be for that. Right, so that's put in a square. That piece of wood's in there. Looks about right. I flux that. Put some solder on the iron. Do that like that. Same on this side. Same on this side. Put some flux on me, some solder on my thing. Flux my joint. Run a bit of solder in. Cover that side. Right, so that's the basis of my sign. So I can lift that off and that works fine. So what I'll do is I'll turn that round that way. So that fits both sides. So I'll glue me it's not square. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Right, so now I can glue me wires. No, I can't. Now I can test my wires, test my continuity. This side's negative, that side's positive. Turn it around to my symbol for me continuity test. Comes up 1. Just test to make sure that makes a sound, and it is. So red wire to my tube, that's got continuity. Black wire to my tube, continuity. So that's all working. So now I can glue my posts, line that up in the right position. In fact, I need to, that's got to be that way around. I'll just fill my wire hole in with heat glue. Oops, that's my friggin' sign come off. Just let that go hard there. Let that glue go off. So just about there with this. Right, so that's all working good. Right, so that's my sign. So I can turn glue gun off now, don't need that anymore. So I need to do a backboard out of some ply. I'm not going to use this building. I've got no building I made for my layout. Right, so that can be my backboard for that. I'll clean that off later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this with glue. Shove that piece of wood in there. So that's now glued in position. Let's cut a little bit off of this. Right, we're getting on a bit here, guys. I didn't realise how late it is. It's an hour and 12 minutes. So I think what I'm going to do is call this one a day here. Yeah, I'm going to call this one a day here, guys, and then crack on with next one. I think that's in there now, that. What I'll do is I can put some glue in there. Shove that sign in. Shove that peg in. And that's that. So now I've got so the wood is between the two posts. So that makes it so it's not, you've got a gap between your positive and negative, so don't short it out. So it's not shorting together. If they were joined together, that'd just blow it, it'd short circuit it, and just knacker everything up. But because because I've put a piece of wood in that gap, and that has not, that sorted that out. That's still going to stop that from happening, because electric at 9 volts won't travel through that wood. So I'll come back when I've later on today. I'll start my sign. I'll do my part 2. I do it billboard. That's just the framework. I'll do my billboard. Me sign part 2. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the next one. Thank you, bye.